Let's do it. Yeah, Marcus Conte reporting. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Yeah, baby, yeah, baby, yeah, baby. What's up, what's up, what's up, everybody? What's up, party people, children of God, children of God. We're all God's children, right? Depends on whose God you're talking about. Yeah, man, how we doing, man? What's up, Kenneth? What's up, Skip? What's up, Nathan Purvis? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, Kenneth. Kenneth, I thought I said your name. And Pyramid 7, don't be a dick in the chat. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So, Marcus Conte reporting, preparing my big getaway. My big getaway. It's actually not a getaway. It's a going to. It's a diving into the fire trip. Going to Las Vegas, Nevada this week for the Nevada caucus. And there's some shenanigans going on. We're going to try to expose some of the shenanigans, be a eye on the ground for the shenanigans so that the Democrats, the dirty Democrats, don't cheat the man, Bernie Sanders. So thank you very much for the people that have contributed already. This is, crowd-funded. I'm not going to do a, crowd, whatever that's called, a crowd campaign, but I am making a plea that kindly contribute via PayPal. There's a PayPal link down below, and send one-time contributions or become a Patreon for as little as $2, $3 a month. Just need a lot of people to send a little money. If a lot of people send $5, $10, $2, $8, $3, $20, $100, whatever you got, whatever you can spare, kindly send via PayPal, and I will be happy to. I'll be happy to do what I'm going to do right now, which is do a shout out to Carol H. Thank you very much, Carol H., who sent a very generous sponsorship contribution. Hey, Marcus, I'm already a Patreon. Happy to support you with whatever you're doing. Wanted to add a one-time donation to help your cause in Vegas, but can't figure out how to make that happen. Patreon hasn't responded, blah, 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 blah. I'm a little bit technically challenged. Anyway, is there any way that I could send you money? Yes, there is, the PayPal, and she went ahead and did that. I wish I could hand it to you in Las Vegas, but my efforts to get a little camper van so I can travel the country at will have not come to fruition, and I'm sort of stuck in North Carolina taking care of family issues. Wow, what a dream, right? To travel the country in a camper van. Damn, I would love to do that. I would love to do that. I would love to do this doing that. I'd travel around, see people, meet people, get to know America, get to know the people of America. Anyway, best wishes. Now know that you are much appreciated for fighting the good fight. Thank you very much, Carol, for your kind words and for your very kind contribution. Thank you very much. And anybody else who'd like to help out, it's very, 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 very helpful. How do we contribute again? You send via PayPal. PayPal is the best way to go. The link is down below. It's PayPal / I think it's the Ghost of Brooklyn or Pay Me or something, but it's down in the link. PayPal / or become a Patreon. Very important. I hate to sit here and I guess it's a form of begging or panhandling, whatever. You got to do it. If we want this message to keep getting out, if we want people like me to be on the ground fighting the good fight, this is how we're going to do it. This is the only way to do it, right? Because PayPal YouTube sure as hell ain't paying. They cut me off a long time ago. So can Bernie Sanders win? What is the single metric that separates Bernie Sanders? Why can Bernie Sanders win? Why does he beat Trump handsomely? For one single reason, and that is income and wealth inequality in this country. And when Bernie Sanders starts yakking about it and points to the billionaire next to him on that debate stage, Americans are going to get it. They're going to get it. They're going to say, this guy keeps shaking his finger saying the economy's never been so good, but the reality is, what's in it for me? What's in it for me? Let me just go back to one other thing. I just want to keep pounding this this Las Vegas trip. What's up, Sterling Price? Good morning. Good morning, Sterling Price. I wanted to just say that there's going to be a lot of exciting stuff. I'll be at the debate on Wednesday the 19th. The debate at the Paris Hotel and Casino. NBC debate. Lester Holt, Chuck Todd. Well, I don't know if I'm going to get in, but I'll definitely be in the vicinity. Maybe I'll get in. Maybe I'll be able to sneak into the spin room. I'll definitely be watching in a very Las Vegas crowd. So that'll be very interesting. I'll be right outside the hotel. If I get in, that'll happen about 6 p.m. Pacific time. So it's kind of late here. It's about 9 o'clock Eastern. All right, and you've got so far. I don't think Bloomberg made it into that one. I think it's same five. You have Bernie Sanders, Biden, Elizabeth Warren, Buttigieg, and Klobuchar. Those are the five. And then on Friday, very exciting, Bernie Sanders rally at 7 p.m. at the Spring Preserve Amphitheater, and at 12 p.m., Trump rally, Las Vegas Convention Center. You get to see Bernie and Trump in the same day. Same day. Trump is smart, getting in front of Bernie's momentum there. And then Saturday is election day. I'll probably be at UNLV and then somewhere for the victory speech because Bernie Sanders is killing it. He's like 20 points out in front in Nevada. So look at this picture's beautiful, right? The only minority destroying America is the rich. That's right, man. It's fucking right. So let's look at there's some good memes floating around. This is a good. Bernie Sanders got titty bombed on stage in Denver. I believe it was Denver. Actually it was Carson, Nevada, and he got titty bombed by a bunch of vegans. Let's take a look at that. This is an excellent meme. Check this shit out, man. Right? It's fucking. So Bernie Sanders, this is real. This isn't photoshopped or anything. So Bernie Sanders is at some kind of rally and he's out by the water. Watch what happens. Watch. The fucking photo bomb. Pow! Fucking Trump comes right through there, man. Some crazy guy, man. That's fucking Trump. That's a good bomb right there. That's awesome. That's awesome. Using your boat to bomb the shit. This is an oldie but a goodie. Remember this? You remember this meme? This is Bernie Sanders sneaking up on Trump. Check this shit out. Watch this. Now that's obviously fake, but it's really good. I couldn't find a better, higher quality one, but you see, that was some kook that snuck up on Trump back in 2016 at the rally, and he jumped like a little girl. Not really. He actually held his own. So let's watch the titty bomb. This is Bernie Sanders on stage in Carson City, Nevada, and Bill de Blasio introduces him. And watch what happens. I'm going to turn the audio off because I don't want to get struck with that. It's not that you get a copyright strike, but they lean the video and then they put commercials on it and you don't get paid for it. So
thank you, Carson City.
Watch. So he's there with his beautiful wife, Jane Sanders, the next First Lady of the America.
Let me begin by introducing to you the next First Lady of the United States of America, Jane Sanders.
I'll wait for it. Here it comes.
Bernie, I'm your biggest supporter. Bernie, I'm your biggest supporter, and I'm here to ask you to stop propping up the dairy industry and to stop propping up animal agriculture.
Stop propping up the animal industry. It's a good cause. These are the vegans. These are the do-good vegans. This is how they do it, right? They jump on stage for the cows. Give the cows a voice. But Bernie did well. He just fucking ripped the mic right out of it. She tried to pull the mic out of his hand. Bernie stood up for himself, finally.
I believe in you.
And then the audio goes out. Jane Sanders smiling away. They didn't manhandle it. They just got rid of it. Look, a cow goes by. There's a cow. Here comes the titty bomb. Ready for the... Wait, did we see the titty bomb? I missed the titty bomb.
I'm going to say it.
Oh,
but
shit. Let's watch. Where's the titty bomb?
Bernie, I'm your biggest supporter. Bernie, I'm your biggest supporter, and I'm here to ask you to stop propping up the dairy industry and to stop propping
I missed
up
it. Did we miss the titty
agriculture.
bomb? I wasn't paying
I
attention.
believe in
Watch.
you.
We'll watch again. Okay, so there's that going on. Bernie's like, come on, get this bitch off the stage. I got work to do. I gotta save the country, and you're talking about cows. Watch the titty bomb. Watch. Yeah, watch. Here's the tits. The titty chick just followed him, man. This fucking titty chick. That was pretty funny, right? Titty bomb Bernie. Titty bomb. There's another piece. I just want to see what. So this is the time frame, right? This shit went down for a minute or two. And Bernie's like, and here he comes back. Watch. he handles it well. These two
This
vegan
is
ladies.
Nevada. There's always a little bit of excitement.
These two other nasty ladies are
At
still
no
standing
extra
there.
cost.
They got
We
cows.
got a lot of water on the stage. As I was saying, let me thank all of those who have.
And they kick out the last two vegan ladies. So that was funny, man. It was, it's a titty bomb, right? Fucking, you got to put that shit up, right? So how we doing in the chat? Don't be a dick, everybody. We got our wrench. What's up, Sterling Price? Jerry and Bernie got clocked. Say, speak your piece once, repeating it 3-4 times. That's spam. Thank you very much. Yeah, it was a titty bomb, man. It was good stuff, man. The vegans, I'm a vegan. You don't see me throwing my shit around, but Bernie Sanders has been confronted many times on that vegan thing, and he doesn't, in his words, people like to eat meat, maybe we'll get there someday on that. But for now, can Sanders beat Trump in capitalist America? Can he win? Because Bernie Sanders is out there saying he's a democratic socialist. He's a FDR, a New Deal Democrat. And isn't that the same as, is he a capitalist? Is Bernie Sanders a capitalist? He said it in the 80s that he's not a capitalist, that he's something else. But yes, he can. Listen to this. The Democrats are searching for the candidate best able to defeat Trump in the forthcoming presidential race. The question on the mind of many Democrats is whether Bernie Sanders can beat Trump in a capitalist America. Considering the surge in inequality, the answer is yes. It is difficult to underestimate the anger building. It's not difficult. It's easy. Well, it's difficult. It's possible to underestimate the anger building around the surface as Trump makes his rounds declaring this is the best economy ever. And then people look in their pocket and say, yeah, not for me. It's not for me. What about the 70% of the people that are sucking wind? The reason for the discontent is many Americans are not feeling all that blessed. Wealth inequality has soared in recent years and now stands at the worst it has been during the entire U.S. post-war period. Whoa, but I watched the State of the Union, and Trump said the exact opposite. He said that the bottom half of the country saw a 43% increase in their wealth. Fucking liar. God damn, the orange monster. Simply put, statistics show many Americans lack the money to pay for a $500 repair. That's right, 60% of the country doesn't have $500 in their pocket. All right? It's crazy, man. That's not the America that I grew up in. That's over half the country living in abject poverty, living paycheck to paycheck. Shit is dope. Driving a decent car doesn't make a person middle class or economically equal, especially if they're bogged down in debt. So, first, Trump is not as loved as he indicates. Matter of fact, President Trump has a way of ruffling the feathers of both friends and foes. I don't want to read all this stuff, but here's an interesting chart, a map of the U.S. Right now, this is the way Bernie wins. This is how Bernie Sanders will win. Right here, you see this red. This is the, as Joe Biden says, the heart fighting for the soul of America. This is the soul right here. This is the soul of the election. Iowa, not so much. Wisconsin, a little more. Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Florida. If Bernie Sanders flips Michigan, Ohio, or Pennsylvania, if he wins all the blues as he should, then Bernie Sanders will be the president of the United States. That's how Trump won. Trump won in the Rust Belt. He won Florida, he won Ohio, he won Michigan. That was it. That's the game changer right there. It's always the Rust Belt, and for some reason, Florida. However, Bernie Sanders is surging in Texas. Can Bernie Sanders flip Texas blue? Oh, damn, he might. He might. Missouri has often gone blue as well. North Carolina. Is North Carolina in play for Bernie Sanders? Is maybe Tennessee in play for Bernie Sanders? He doesn't really need it, but if Bernie Sanders can flip any one of these states, and what better place to shout a message of income and wealth inequality than in the Rust Belt? Pennsylvania is a lot like New York. I mean, it's for the most part, upstate New York is almost identical to Pennsylvania, and it's very similar voting block. All of upstate voted for Trump. Only the cities where they cheat on the machines voted for Hillary Clinton. That's how they did it, right? So all of New York State, for the most part, is red, except for the city, New York City, where most of the people are. 50 million, 20 million people. Of the 50 million in the state, I don't even know how many people are in the goddamn state. All right, there's 20 million people in the state, and there's 9 million in the city. So a vast majority of the people live in the city, and that's what went blue in New York. The point is that it's very similar to Pennsylvania, Ohio, and Michigan. So that would be the battle. Can he flip it? Can a message of income and wealth inequality flip those states? I think so. Much of Sanders' appeal comes from his promise he can deliver a more just society by transforming wealth to those embracing his long-held socialistic values. Socialistic values. That's just such. It is a thorn in Bernie's side. He's got to get over it. He's done a good job so far defining democratic socialism, but they'll continue to smear, and even Zero Hedge is throwing it in there. This highlights a glaring weakness in the democratic system, showing the income and wealth inequality, and that it is a highly motivated minority, can overwhelm an unmotivated majority. A highly motivated minority, but the minority of the country is no longer the abject poverty in this country is now majority. When 60% of the country doesn't have $400 to their name, $500, that's a majority. So all Bernie Sanders has to do is keep plugging that message and bash the billionaires, and it's a winning message. History shows the promise of generous programs have been proven to be a great motivator. You could say, "Oh, free stuff. Bernie Sanders is just giving away everything, free stuff." But the fact is, universal single-payer health care. These policies are wildly popular. I've said it 100 times. Get rid of student loans right there. Student loans, college tuition free at city and state universities. Right there, you get 30% of the country. You get the youth vote. You get all the millennials will jump on top of that. Why? Because they're getting something. That's why people vote. You think they're cheering for some 79-year-old man from Vermont, some guy with a broken Brooklyn accent that, fucking he hates cows? You think they're cheering for that guy? No, they're cheering for themselves. Don't you get it? That's why it's so appealing. That's why he's going to win, if he's not cheated. This means they are out of touch. Listen, those welding the power. History shows the promise of generous programs have proven to be a great motivator. It does not hurt that Sanders comes across as sincere and passionate. Those wielding power to bring about change are often sheltered from the pain, inequality, and broken justice system causes. Wow, the rich are sheltered. This means they are out of touch with what many people are forced to go through every day. Because of this, the thorny problems of the day become a low priority. Sanders, on the other hand, seems to relish the challenge of attacking those issues. Yes, that's why Bernie Sanders has a 70% approval rating in America, and Trump has a 45% approval rating in America. Trump emphasizes it, does he? Trump emphasizes. He emphasizes it, but he just swings his finger and doesn't do anything about it. Tennessee has some pretty aggressive voter purging laws. Yeah, do they? Damn student loans. So there is some cheating going on. There's allegations already in California where they're making it very difficult and such. And I'll read you an article from Nevada where I'm going, and I'm going to try to take a deep dive while I'm there, asking people on the ground what's actually going on, and I'll tell you about that. Thank you for being nice in the comments. And again, just a TV commercial. I'll be in Nevada next week, or this week actually. Today's Monday. I'll be there this week starting Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday to cover the Nevada caucus, looking for contributions to make this trip doable. All right. PayPal is the best option at this point. It's immediate. Thank you very much. The reality that a vast majority of people face diminishing prosperities is a concerning trend. This is highlighted by the IMF in a report focused on data showing the middle-income houses have continued to move down. Let's look at the chart. The chart's the best way to look at it. Yeah, all right, so here's the chart. Here's a nice chart. All through the 80s, 1980s, blah, blah, blah. Lower-income households had the highest growth in the 1980s. And now their trajectory is straight the hell down. Is straight down. Look what's happening now with the wealthy. It's now reversed. These are the highest income people has gone straight up, and the poor people has gone straight down. And they crisscrossed right over here somewhere. I think it's like right when Trump came in. And now, pow, take off. Now the super wealthy gone virtually all the income growth. That's gross. That's a grotesque. That is just a grotesque reality. Right? That I think I just closed out the the page. Oh well. Anyway, so here's another one, right? So we saw that. 1 in 3 American workers run out of money before payday. These are the statistics. These are the reasons why Bernie Sanders is wildly popular, and Bernie Sanders will destroy, wipe the floor with Trump in the general election. Trounce him because of this reason. A new study has found that at least 32% of people making over $100,000 run out of money between paychecks and can't make ends meet in the greatest economy ever. Now that is interesting that even people over $100,000 can't make ends meet. 32% of those people. That points with $100,000 income, and 32% of those people don't know how to handle their money. You could say that they are economically illiterate. They don't know how to. They overspend. They debt themselves, because you don't have to be in debt at $100,000 a year. You could live within your means and be fine. We're talking about people that are in the $40,000 and $50,000 and below $40,000 a year, which is half the country right now. Those people suffer. Those people don't have the option. Those are the people that, go to the doctor and they try to fill their prescription, and they got to cut pills in half because they don't have enough money. They run out of money by the end of the month. That's who we're talking about. Something is amiss here concerning President Trump's tout all-time highs in the stock market, record low unemployment, greatest economy ever, rising wages, and a manufacturing renaissance. That's what Trump's saying all along, but it doesn't add up, as we just saw. That 60% of the country doesn't have $500. This shows us there's a significant gap between Trump's election year propaganda and what is happening on the ground. Now, this is statistics. When people say, well, why can Bernie Sanders win? I'm giving you the statistics. The fact that there is no better motivator for someone to want to unelect somebody or vote than their own pocket, than their own income. They look into their own pocket and say, shit, this isn't working out. Which one of these shit sandwiches, which one of these talking heads is going to do the right thing for me and my kids over there? That's what people, that's in the final analysis when they go into that. And if you don't think that the people that support Trump openly and go to the rallies and scream and have a Trump sign and a Trump hat, if you don't think that if Bernie Sanders gets that message across to them in the months from the summer leading up to November, if Bernie Sanders gets that message across that Trump is a fraud and a fake and isn't going to do shit for you and healthcare and any of that stuff, that's all bullshit. Lock her up, build a wall. Yeah, right. Any of that shit. If Bernie gets that message across and makes America aware that it is the billionaire class and the corporate oligarchy crushing them, and that he has a solution to that problem, he will win. That's a powerful, potent message. The study notes that many of these financially stressed out folks are resorting to, what I wanted to say is, in the final analysis, the people that voted for Trump, when they go into that little room where they have that little bit of, a little bit of space for themselves, and the decision is, and nobody's looking, and the decision is Trump, who keeps waving his finger saying there's so much opportunity in the world, but I don't get any of it, and there's Bernie Sanders saying, here's the solution, here's how we're going to get to it. Those people, in their own privacy, will pick Bernie Sanders, in my view. The study notes that many of these financially stressed out folks are resorting to payday loans, credit cards, and have been slammed by overdraft fees as their economic well-being quickly deteriorates. The survey was conducted by Salary Finance, blah, 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 2,700 people in the study. Amy is one of those Americans who are all familiar with her household running short on cash, as her husband makes about $50,000 a year. Tax time hurts for us because we don't get a refund, we get a bill. So here's more of a breakdown. So people that make less than $15,000 a year run out of money 40% of the time between welfare checks or whatever. 15,000 to 24,000. Now that's a lot of people in this country, right? If you work at Starbucks for 25 hours, or Walmart, or if you have one of those kind of jobs where you're making, very low salary and they don't give you full time because they don't want to give you the medical benefits, that's 40% of the country is 40% of the time they run out of money before the next paycheck. They're not even living paycheck to paycheck. They're living below that, and then that's when the credit cards kick in. This is the problem in America. This is the fundamental problem right now that we have to address, where there's billionaires, 1% of the population, fucking guy, Jeff Bezos, $100 billionaire. Guy running for president, Bloomberg, $60 billion he's worth. It's obscene amount of money. Obscene amount of money for a select few. 3 people have more wealth than the bottom half of the country. The Walmart folks. It's absurd. So if you're making 25 to 39,000, 37% of the time you're out of money before the next paycheck rolls in. 40 to 50 grand, 28% of the time you're out of money, and it pretty much flatlines right there around 28 to 31%, all the way up to 200 grand. So I would speculate that people who make a more than 100 grand, I don't have any sympathy for you. Learn how to budget your money a little better. Live within your means. You don't need a brand new car every year. But the people that are making 50 grand and less, That's where my heart bleeds, and that's where the Bernie Sanders message resonates the most. Excuse me. So, what else can we learn from this? So that's an interesting article. Bernie breaks out of the pack. Politico saying it. Politico, what's up in the chats, man? What's up? What's up? What's up, Chris Conwell? How you doing? How you doing? Don't put all your eggs in one basket. He's warning me. Chris is here to warn us that the Bernie movement is going to fail. All your vids are the same now, and Bernie's working for the Dems. You're bound to get let down. They're nervous. See, that's nerves. That's fear. That's fear that you were wrong all along with Trump. See, I never supported Trump. I never said that. I saw Trump as a con man and a flatline economist the whole time. A fake the whole time. I saw the value in Trump as a wrecking ball to crash the Democrats and expose them as the frauds they are. But Trump is really not doing that. As you could see, here's one of his tweets, right? He said in a tweet, "It's happening again to crazy Bernie. Just like the last time, all far more obvious. They are taking the Democratic nomination away from him, and there's little he can do. A rigged system." Now, that's embarrassing for a number of reasons. One is that it's coming from the President of the United States. Why don't you fucking do something about it? Because it's your adversary, because it's your enemy or whatever, you're the guy that you're running against or potentially running against, you're just going to let the corruption sit, but only when the corruption is pointed at Trump. Oh, now we have a problem. You see how corrupt the system is? They want me out. They spend all their time attacking me, Mr. Trump. They attack me. But what about when they're attacking others, Trump? What about others? Others like the other half of the country. You're not just the president of the Republican Party. You're the president of all people, whether they like you or not. You could have done something other than a tweet to expose the corruption. Why? Because you're the president of the United States. You should have a little power. A little bit? Did I give you a little bit of power, Mr. Trump? So, Chris is getting worried. He is. He's definitely getting worried. But thanks for sharing, Chris. I appreciate you being here. Don't chop Chris out, man. Let him talk. Let him talk. He needs to talk. He needs somebody to talk to. He needs a shoulder to cry on. That's what this channel is going to become. This channel is going to become the shoulder for Trump people to cry on. Come, lay your head on my shoulder and push your face into my bosom, and I will comfort you as you get over your Trump defeat. As you get, that's what this is going to be, man. So get ready for it, man. So it is obvious stuff. I agree. Zolax. Hey, suggestion. Get a pronounceable name, dude. Get a pronounceable name. Russian bot. Good luck in November. You're going to need it. Oh, thank you, man. Thank you. We're not talking about luck. This is not a casino. I'm giving you statistics. I'm giving you facts, psychological profiling. Where 70% of the people are with what I'm talking about, and they're not with what you're talking about. And the country, you could fool 45. I think Trump has fooled like 45% of the country into believing his nonsense. But there's another 30% that will never vote for him. The Clintonians. But then there's this other 20% that know what's going on. And hopefully, if you're here and you're not just trolling, and you actually get it, you're of that 20% where there's nothing that's going to change your mind about Trump. He's a fraud, right? You knew it then, you know it now. There's nothing that's going to make you want to vote for Trump. I forgot what I was going to say. I had a big point there. And I forgot it. So let's move on to this article here. So Bernie Sanders is becoming harder to stop. Nevada is where his opponents are starting to realize it. Now, this is only valuable because it's Politico. These are major hack publications. Bernie breaks out of the pack. When you're on the front page, when you have the lead story, whether it's good or bad really is not the point. And Bernie Sanders is now at least starting to get some of the press that he deserves. They're talking about Bernie Sanders, finally. Bernie Sanders is becoming harder to stop. Nevada is where his opponents are starting to realize it. Wow. Good time to be in Nevada for the caucus. Advisors to three rival campaigns privately conceded over the weekend that the best anyone else could hope for here is second or third. Second or third. That's right. That's right. That is right. Some of them gape at the crowd sizes at the crowd sizes at Sanders' events, like the swarm of supporters who accompanied Sanders, his fist raised in an early caucus in Las Vegas on Saturday, the first day of early voting in the state. I agree that a lot of what I'm saying now is very is overlapping about this Bernie Sanders stuff, but it is important. Why? Because we only got 16 more days. 16 more days to turn the tide of America. After Super Tuesday, I'll shut up. I'll shut up. After the people speak and after all the cheating is considered, how much cheating went on, I'll shut the hell up, man. I'll go back to talking about, talk about, I don't know what. I'll find something to talk about. But I won't be talking about how if Bernie Sanders gets cheated and he allows it to happen, hey, I'll turn on a dime. Same shit. I'm not going to support no blue no matter who. It's Trump's going to win. And that's just the way it's going to go. But for the next 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, we're going to talk about this because this is important, not just for me, but it's important for you. This is my way of giving it back to you, whether you see it or not. I do this all day long. I'm an expert political commentator. I'm a very high sought after opinion in the industry now. And I'm telling you that your best interest, based on all the numbers that I've crunched and all I have seen, is that Bernie Sanders is in your best interest. He's for you. Trump is not for you. That's what I'm trying to say. So he's going to win with 28% of the vote. We're not talking about him getting 50% of the vote, said Andrew Ramirez, a Nevada-based Democratic strategist and former vice chair of the Democratic National Committee on Hispanics. Bernie Sanders has a 43% Hispanic lead. He's going to win 43% of Hispanics. The next closest is Joe Biden with like 12. And there's a lot of Hispanics in Nevada. The Hispanics are going to push Bernie over the edge. But the rest of the field is so fragmented. So the gist of this article is that Bernie is breaking out. Politico knows it. When Biden failed, when Biden flopped to 4th and 5th place and is already conceding Nevada to Bernie, the shit is over, man. He's going to win Texas. He's going to win California. He might win Virginia, North Carolina. He could win Massachusetts. If he upsets Elizabeth Warren in Massachusetts, if Bernie Sanders wins in Massachusetts, of course he's going to win Vermont. But if Bernie Sanders wins in Massachusetts, where Elizabeth Warren is a senator, she should not only bow out, but she should just shut up and leave. Don't even say goodbye, Elizabeth Warren. You got blown out in your own state. Nobody loses their own state. Remember the reason why, remember the name Beto O'Rourke? Beto O'Rourke was going to win Texas. He was going to carry the Democrats through Texas, and that was a big deal for the Democrats. Oh, we got somebody who can carry Texas. But now Bernie Sanders is winning Texas. Now it's like, oh, yeah, fuck Texas. That's what they do. The rest of the field is so fragmented, and he has his base locked, that he can continue winning just by holding on to his base. Bernie Sanders. That's right. So Pete Buttigieg, who topped the field with Sanders in Iowa and finished less than 2 percentage points behind him in New Hampshire, is not polling well in Nevada. or in the next voting state, South Carolina. Amy Klobuchar surged in New Hampshire, but is starting from behind in Nevada. Biden is the opposite, humiliated in Iowa and New Hampshire, but with better prospects here in Nevada. Where's the statistics? There's no facts on that. Bernie Sanders is surging. Here's something that he said. Here's something that Bernie Sanders said about Bloomberg. Check this out.
Regardless of how much money a multi-billionaire candidate is willing to spend on his election, we will not create the energy and excitement we need to defeat Donald Trump if that candidate pursued, advocated for, and enacted racist policies like stop and frisk.
Quote, we put all the cops in minority neighborhoods. Yes, that's true. Why do we do it? Because that's where all the crime is.
Which caused communities of color in his city to live in fear. We will not defeat Donald Trump with a candidate who in 2015 stated,
I, for example, am not in favor, have never been in favor of raising the minimum wage.
We will not defeat Donald Trump with a candidate who opposed modest proposals during Barack Obama's presidency to raise taxes on the wealthy while advocating for cuts to Medicare and Social Security.
The entitlements are going to bankrupt us.
We will not defeat Donald Trump with a candidate who, instead of holding the crooks on Wall Street accountable, blamed the end of racist policies such as redlining for the financial crisis.
Redlining, if you remember, was the term where banks took whole neighborhoods and said people in these neighborhoods are poor, they're not going to be able to pay off their mortgages.
The simple truth is that Mayor Bloomberg, with all his money, will not create the kind of excitement and energy we need to have the voter turnout we must have to defeat Donald Trump.
Now, I don't agree with all of that. I'm not fully on board with Bernie Sanders' everybody's a racist nonsense. I don't believe that at all. In fact, in one respect, I actually support the stop and frisk. I think it was a violation of civil rights, but I think it was important to shake down some of the criminals the way the NYPD was doing it at the time. That was the essence of stop and frisk. They looked at where most of the crime was, and 1 out of 3 crimes occurred in the projects in black neighborhoods, and the kids were young. Super predators. And that was the point, to shake down mofos, to take the illegal guns off the street, because that's what you have to do. When you have, when places aren't open carry, you have to knock it down, right? But so, in terms of, is that a racist policy? That wasn't a racist policy. But what Bloomberg said about these entitlement programs are going to bankrupt the country, that's very revealing right there. And that's why a guy like Mike Bloomberg shouldn't be president. A couple of comments. Jeb Reed, wealth inequality. You got a job? I do. I bust me ad to carry a bunch of lazy, jobless, wealth inequality here. Get a real fucking job. Yeah, that's common. That's a common comment. Thank you very much. Kevin Burns. What Marcus Conte hasn't realized is he is our resident socialist, just like Tim Pool is our milk toast fence-sitting Democrat resident talking head. We might not agree, but we still come to listen. Well, thanks for coming to listen, man. I'm no fucking socialist, but that's cool. That's cool. Socialism is for rich. Social Darwinism for the poor. Yeah, that's what it is, ZOX. But that's okay. When that happens, it's fine. That's fine. Trump people and the people arguing, the economically illiterate people that come and argue for Trump's trickle-down economics, calling it capitalism, they don't know what they're talking about, right? They don't know anything about how money flows through the system. Right? Scream at them. Scream at them. Scream at somebody and say, you're lazy. You're lazy. Just get a job. Get another job. You got a job. Get another job. Have 2 jobs. Keep working. Work. Work until you fall down. What are you, lazy? Keep working. Keep working, motherfucker. That's not. That's not. It's not a civilized economy. It's a slave nation, if you will. Here's a this plays to the notion that racism, catering to racist policy, right, or calling a policy racist, or making up these ridiculous laws, these discriminatory laws, has a shitty effect, has a worse effect than it's supposed to solve the problem, but it actually throws gas on the fire. So here's a very interesting piece that speaks to that. There's just too many white people in here. Black student lectures whites in multicultural university area. And again, of course, just switch the. If someone would have said, "There's too many black people in here," white students lecture blacks in multicultural area. If you would just flip black to white and white to black, it would be the sky would fall, right? But because a fat black woman said it, fat black college kid said it, woman, female with a vagina said it, then it's okay. It's okay. It's nothing. It's nothing to look at. So nothing says multiculturalism quite like singling out people of one race and telling them that they don't belong in a common area. Such was the case in a video that has been making its rounds on Reddit. So again, this plays to something that Bernie Sanders says, and I fundamentally disagree with that. When you pander to racist ideology, you get racism. That is racism. When you say that a policy of stop and frisk because it looked into the areas where the crime was highest is racist. No, if that turns out to be the fact, then you have to look at the fact and say that there's a high degree of violence in this area. And why? It's not racism, it's income and wealth inequality. Poverty is a breeding ground for violence and corruption. So address it for that. Don't call it racism. But anyway, here's a black girl tells whites to leave multicultural student center. Let's listen.
Public service announcement. Excuse me. If y'all didn't know, this is the MSC, and frankly, there's just too many white people in here, and this is a space for people of color. So just be really cognizant of the space that you're taking up, because it does make some of us POCs uncomfortable when we see too many white people in here. It's only been open for 4 days, and frankly, there's the whole university for a lot of y'all to be at, and there's very few spaces for us. So keep that in mind. Thank you.
Wow, there's just too many white people in here.
People of color. So just be really people in here, and this is a space for people. Frankly, there's just too many white people in here, and this is a space for people of color. So just be really
There's too many white people in here. This is a space for people of color. For people of color, I thought it was a place for multicultural lectures, multicultural area in universities. Too many white people in here. So that's where it gets despicable, right? That lady should have got, if that was a white person saying there's too many blacks in here, get the hell out. This is a place for whites only. Or it's a multicultural area and the blacks are crowding the room. That would have been suspension. That would have been front page in the New York Times. Right? Because a black says it, it just gets swept under the rug, right? So that's some of the things that I would disagree with Bernie Sanders. So let's talk about, I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you. Again, commercial for trip to Nevada. I'll be going to Nevada on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and be covering the Nevada caucus. Looking for support through PayPal to make that happen. I will do a shout out for you if you make a contribution. Thank you very much to all the people that are already Patreons. There's maybe 15 to 20 of you guys. Thank you very much. I don't say much about that, but I really, really appreciate the Patreon ongoing support at this time to make the Nevada trip really effective. The ability to really move around on the ground and get shit done. I'm asking for your support to make that happen, and I will do a shout out for you if you like. If you don't want your name said, I'll just use your first name and last initial, like I did with Carol H. Thank you. A complete disaster. Fears grow over potential Nevada caucus malfunction. Here we go again, right? Hold on a second. Here we go again. Iowa, there was a vote flipping app put in at the last minute. Flip those votes. Flip those votes to Deval Patrick and Tom Steyer. We only caught a few of them, but how was Bernie Sanders 10, 12 points out in front in Iowa, and he squeaks by in the end? Or how was New Hampshire? How was he 12 and 15 points out ahead on the fake polls, and then he only squeaks by a point and a half? Right? It's called as rigging. As rigging. There's also evidence that a lot of the exit polls were way off too. So the Democrats are cheating. This is not conspiracy theory. They're doing it. They did it in Iowa. They got caught where actual districts had the vote that the worker at the station calculated the numbers and then passed it to the Iowa Democratic Party. And the numbers that were passed were different from the numbers received. These numbers that were received were off. And they favored the establishment. They took votes out of Bernie Sanders' pocket. So we know that there is cheating going on. So Nevada, I'll be there. I'll be in Las Vegas. I'm not going to travel around the state. I'll be in Las Vegas. A lot of action there. As I said, there's a Trump rally. There's a Bernie rally. There's a debate. There's, of course, the election victory speech will be in California. Will be in Las Vegas. So I'll be there for all that stuff. I don't know if this is true. I'm looking at this and I'm going to find out more. Anxiety is rising over the possibility of another tech-induced meltdown. A tech-induced meltdown at the Nevada Democratic Caucus on Saturday. Let's see. In interviews, three caucus volunteers described serious concerns about rushed preparations for the February 22nd election, including insufficient training for a newly adopted electronic vote tally system and confusing instructions on how to administer the caucus. That's not vote rigging. You could figure it out. If it's just an iPad and an app, any 12-year-old could figure it out. Just follow directions. Just follow through. If it's so, I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced that this is cheating at this point. There are also unanswered questions about the security of internet connections at some 2,000 precinct sites that will transmit results to a central war room. A central war room. So 2,000 precincts reporting they're worried about the internet connection. Don't worry about the internet connection, because as long as you have a copy. The people that are sending maintain a copy of what was sent, and then we can see what the war room is basing their result on. Then we have no problem, because if you have honest brokers, people will stand up and say, "Ho, these numbers don't add up." Right? And Bernie Sanders' people keep their own tallies because they know of the cheating. Right? Some volunteers who will help run caucuses at precinct locations said they have not been trained on iPads, and the party purchased to enter and transmit vote counts. Party officials scrambled to streamline their vote reporting system, settling on Google Forms, accessible through a saved link on an iPad. After scrapping a pair of apps they'd been planning to use until a similar app caused a fiasco in Iowa, and that was that shadow software. Right. So this goes on to talk about the fact that the iPad is pretty solid. There's some sketchy shit about the Wi-Fi connections, but the apps, the iPads appear to be set with a cellular connection. So if the Wi-Fi fails, they could still dial it in and connect through a cell connection. This is third grade math. This is 228 plus 541. This is 38 plus 12. This is not high fucking math. that we're talking about here. All right? What do you need? You don't need a sophisticated program. You don't need a sophisticated algorithm to figure it out. It's crunching simple numbers. That's all it is. So I'm a little. I think that when you talk about all of the numbers get funneled into a central brain, a war room, that's where if there's going to be cheating, it's going to be here in the war room set up by the Nevada Democratic Party. If you want to look for the cheating, don't look at the way the numbers gathered by the people at the caucuses or the way it was transmitted to the war room. You have to look, the cheating happens at the war room itself. As long as people keep copies of the actual numbers in the caucus room, that's a lot. And it should be like, you know what? Those numbers should be made public right away. Those numbers should be put out on like an Amazon page or a Google page. Keep a real-time, tally of what is happening in the states. That's the way you run an election. But not if you want to cheat, because you're going to hide it. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, that's all I got today. So we'll watch. We'll keep it going. Keep the eye on the ground. I'll be there. I'm going to try to talk to people. You might not be able to talk to volunteers at a caucus center, but I'll be talking to the Bernie people. I might go, I'll talk to the Bernie people, see what they say. Some of those Bernie people are actually volunteers, and we'll talk to you off the record. They're volunteers at the caucus, and certainly after the caucus is over, I can poke around and see. And of course the big victory speech. So again, the only minority destroying America is the rich. And to sum it up, that's why Bernie Sanders wins. That's why Bernie Sanders beats Trump, and that's why the Democrats are cheating Bernie Sanders at every turn of the screw. So that's my Bernie Sanders video for today. If you don't like it, you can find other channels that are covering other stuff. But this is what we're going to talk about. This is what we're going to talk about for a while until the dirt settles on this. So another 16, 17 days to go. So Marcus Conte reporting. Hit that like button. Thank you for plugging. Funny how Pete is gay and his last name is Buttigieg. I know, it is funny, man. He's not going to win, man. Forget about it. Buttigieg, after Super Tuesday, he's going to get slaughtered. He's going to get slammed. The problem right now, the strategy for the Democrats is to stop Bernie Sanders. Stop this guy. Stop him, because he's going to beat Trump, and then we don't have a job anymore. Stop Bernie Sanders is the way. And the way they're going to do that is to have Bloomberg spend all his money, right? Because if Bloomberg spends $2 billion to buy off the superdelegates at the convention, and then another $1 billion or $2 billion comes in corporate money, that's $4 billion flooding into the DNC, and they're totally for sale. And Bernie Sanders is not going to be able to compete with $4 billion of constant noise, constant lobbying to get him the hell off the stage. You lost, Bernie. You're a socialist. You're not even a Democrat. Get out of here. We don't like you. Fuck you. Take your people with you. Fuck you. We don't care. You cheated. They'll make it by the time we get to the DNC convention. Bernie will be the cheater. They'll mix that shit right up. So anyway, Marcus Conte reporting and say, yeah, I'm going to take you out. Some new beats. I got to get some new beats, man. I like this sound right here. Watch this sound. Ah, yeah.